Hi everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 279. It's January 4th, 2017, and we're slightly off kilter here because evidently I forgot to plug the camera in last week to charge, and it was dead as a doornail when I turned it on just now. Also, slight little housekeeping thing. If the lighting seems different, it's because I changed all the light bulbs in the basement, and evidently these I got LED ones meant for recessed lighting. The ones back there, I got soft whites. The ones here, I got daylight. And it's like, whoa, high brightness. I have them dimmed all the way down, and everything looks a little, on my little screen, everything looks a little blown out. So if I look particularly pale this week, it might be that. Actually, I didn't try it. Hang on, because I changed things in the stand light that's over here too. So let me try. That's going to be really... Okay, that actually looks a little better. Be right back. Hang on. See how this looks. Ooh, too bright just means we need to angle a little. I should have done all this before I started recording, right? There, at least that looks more like normal, hi, how you doing? And not, hello, I'm a vampire. Welcome to the show. Hey, how you doing? How was everyone's new year? Mine was fairly uneventful. Hubby had to work. So on our 5-year anniversary of our first date, he was at work. I was home with the kids and fell asleep on the couch by 10 o'clock with the two furry kids that are down here below me. So if you hear whining or wheezing, it's them. Right, Daisy and Phoebe? Right? Yeah. So, boring new year here. I hope everyone else's was a little more exciting. One thing that will remain constant is the coffee, always. Well, really? Hi. So, we're going to work on the lighting because this is still just a little too much. Plus, it's kind of a brighter day outside, but it's also snowing, so we're having a lot of the natural light coming in the window. This is probably as close as we're going to get for today. I don't want to keep messing with it. So, knitting. I actually went back a year in my show notes to try to find if I had set goals for this last year, and I hadn't. I actually skipped a week. Right at the beginning of last January instead of recording, so I don't know why I did that. I didn't set any goals for myself last year. I didn't set any intentions. I just wanted to knit and enjoy myself. I think my one that I did was I wanted to do the whole one snowflake, crocheted snowflake a month in 2016. I didn't necessarily do one a month, but I did do 12 sets of snowflakes that still need to be blocked. Oh, here. Haha. I have this book, which is still available on Amazon, I believe, for like $9 or $10. I got the first 12 completed, and I'm going to continue slowly working my way through. I'm not necessarily going to set myself a goal of one a month, but I do want to keep going with those. I'm trying to think, what else did I want to do? I don't even remember. Let's see, how many did I finish this last year? Sorry, I'm looking over on Ravelry. I know I didn't label some of them. Oh, I did. 1. Well, I finished Gabe's too, so I didn't label his. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 projects in a year. I swear I have more than that. But 12 of those were the sets of snowflakes. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think I finished Gabe's flax No, I finished that on New Year's Eve last year. Okay, so 20. I had one that I hadn't tagged. I mean, even crochet, it was picking up something new for me. I also dedicated a lot of my time to cross-stitching, especially during nap times. So, all in all, not too bad. One of the projects was my Weigh It number 4 by Susan B. Anderson, which is what I'm wearing around my neck. 12 sets of snowflakes, so 36 crocheted snowflakes. 1, 2, 3 pairs of adult socks, 2 pairs of toddler socks, and a Jane hat. Looks like. And this giant shawl. Not bad. Not bad for a mother of toddlers, twin toddlers. I need to get back to my knitting. I need to put down my phone. Melissa, Meliabella, and I had a little VKN the other night, which I sorely missed having, and we both commented that it was so nice to sit and just talk for a couple hours and have dedicated knitting time. So that's something I'd like to do, but in order to do that, I'd like to get rid of the electronic leash. Because you sit on the couch, this thing comes out, and suddenly it's an hour and a half later and you haven't knit a stitch. So that's, I think, going to be my thing, is sit down somewhere away from this, or actually I might even just sit on it, just so it's out of my reach, out of my sight, and I can get something done. I think that will probably help contribute to me finishing a few things. Oh, and there's a few things still on my unfinished list that the knitting's done, mostly done, like the Disappointing Stripes cardigan for Tara. Majority of that was knit this year, this last year. Well, okay, I guess that's the only thing. I started the hashtag for Megan KAL shawl. I started another sweater. I still have the County Redemption sweater on the needles back there. So, yeah, I'm slowly getting back all of my knitting mojo that was lost when the twins were born. But hey, it's a knitting show. You came for the knitting, right? The crafting, that general stuff, sticks and string. So, pull out my one thing that I've been knitting on. Yes, it's going to be a boring show again this week, hence why I'm yammering on. So, coffee. In my Cold Sheet bag by Tangerine Designs, I have my Barb's Co-Pilot. Just let me get that pulled up because I was lazy again and didn't write out show notes. So the pattern is Co-Pilot by Dominique Trad. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I love it because it's simple, it's mindless, but then it seems like I'm able to keep going. So this is for my coworker, Barb. She's our front office administrative assistant. She's wonderful. She is just a ray of sunshine, and I aspire to grow up to be Barb someday because the woman is always put together. She looks like she accessorizes. I don't accessorize. It's like, okay, this is accessorizing for me today. I'm not wearing earrings. I slapped on makeup right before I started recording. I'm living in yoga pants and a t-shirt. This woman is put together to within an inch of her life. She has coordinated accessories. It's like, I want to be Barb when I grow up. So she got my white elephant gift at this company Christmas party this year, which was a gift certificate for the bearer to choose one knitted item, hand knit by me, to be delivered sometime late January, early February. Yeah, this is going to be done sooner than that. She wanted a cowl. Which she didn't know what a cowl was until I explained, well, it can be something tight around your neck, kind of how I'm wearing the Weigh It shawl, or it can be like an infinity scarf, more like a loop, and she goes, oh yeah, an infinity scarf. And the woman loves pink because she is a breast cancer survivor, and she wants it to coordinate with a lot of what she wears, and she wears a lot of black, white, and gray. So I pulled out I dug in my stash, and I happened to have a skein of Yarn Pirate in the Pretty Pirate colorway. This is probably, I think I might have one other skein of Yarn Pirate in my stash. This is a deep stash. I'm talking like 8-9 years old. From when I really started hardcore going after sock yarn. Oh gosh, it's probably older than that. It might be 9 or 10 years old. Ooh, go. So it's 100% superwash merino, fingering weight. It is machine washable. That was very important because while Barb appreciates a knitted item, I don't know if I'm sure if I give her explicit instructions, that woman will baby this thing through, but I wanted to make sure. So you can see we've had some pooling, we've had some striping. It's all for the good. I love this. So it's a very basic pattern. There's sections of garter stitch, sections of mesh, and you're supposed to do 3 of the mesh sections. I am on the 3rd, and I am 1/5 of the way through the 3rd section. So this is going to be done probably not this week, but maybe this weekend. Mother-in-law is coming out to visit, and hopefully she can distract the kids so I can knit a little bit more. While I'm off, I do have to work the next 2 days, so I'm not sure how much I'll get done, but we'll see. We'll aim for having it done for next week, but no promises. I did start knitting it on the 26th of December. I just threw myself into it, and I'll be honest, I've knit nothing since. Like, nothing else sounds good. I know I need to seam up Tara's sweater, but it's like, oh, but I can just pull out Barb's cowl and knit on it. And I've been very single-minded the whole time with this cowl, and I mean, I can see myself knitting another one. I don't know if I'd knit it to wear for me, because I barely wear my knitted stuff anymore unless I'm throwing it on, like throwing on a scarf for the show, or throwing on a shawl or a scarf underneath my coat when we go out, but that's really it. Yeah. Huh. So I'm knitting it up using fingering weight yarn, like I said, on a US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle. I'm going to get pretty close to using the majority of this skein. This is the sad little ball of yarn that I have left. I am pulling from the center, so it's all collapsing down, but it's very squishy. I don't have my kitchen scale down here, so I can't even weigh it to tell you how much I have left. The pattern does have you weigh your yarn to make sure that you have enough to make it through all of the sections, or if you want to tack on another section, that's great too, but should be able to. I also modified the pattern a little bit, mainly because it calls for 260 stitches to be knit, or cast on, sorry, 260 stitches to be cast on. I pulled out a whole bunch of yarn for the long tail cast on, probably like 3 or 4 yards, and I started doing the long tail cast on. I made it to 250 and I had about 8 inches left. I was like, I could have probably squeaked those 10 stitches out, but I'm like, honestly, she's not going to know if 10 stitches aren't there. So I went with 250 because the pattern can work with any multiple of 2, which is fabulous. After I finished the last garter stitch section though, I started the next mesh section where you really have to have a multiple of 2, and somewhere I had lost a stitch. I have gone around and around this thing, yanking on it, looking for a drop stitch. All I can think is somewhere in the garter section I knit 2 together. So I just picked up, I did a make 1, knit through the back loop, like a lifted increase, knit through the back loop, and honestly I can't find where I did that. So can't see it from the back of a prancing pony. Barb will never know unless you guys tell her. Please don't tell her. And if I tell her about it, she'll just laugh and go, that's fine. She's not going to pick it apart. She's like, she's probably going to be like, I'm just glad you made me something. She was so excited to get this. So that's my one thing that I've been knitting the last week. I don't know why. The things that I want to keep going on for, let's move into various and sundry. I have no pokey things. I haven't been stitching. I've just been knitting. Various and sundry. Let's see. Knitting. While I've been knitting, I've been watching a lot of TV. I finished The Crown on Netflix. I think I'm going to move on to The Man in the High Castle, which is another Netflix original series. It's basically what would the world be like if the Axis powers had won World War II. So if Germany and Japan had won World War II, how would the world be today? And I think that sounds fascinating. I've had it in my queue forever. The 2nd season just came out. I've been watching some more of Rain, which is a very, 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 very non-accurate historical drama about the life of Mary, Queen of Scots. very inaccurate, but still fun to watch. You can't nitpick if you do historical costuming or any, I mean, obviously big facts about her life are there, but other things, it's like you're sitting there going, I don't know about that, but okay, it's a TV show. Meh. If you're looking for historical accuracy, don't watch that show at all. So I've been catching up on those with the kids when they're awake, watching a lot of Pokemon. They're really big into Pokemon still. And yeah, I need suggestions for shows. I'm going to be going back and rewatching. I've got a lot in my Netflix queue, and then I look at it and go, I don't want to start that right now. Obviously, Great British Baking Show has been a big one. I've been rewatching the 3 seasons that are available on Amazon Prime. And, oh, I'm so sorry I stopped petting you, Daisy. Yeah, so for this next year, I was trying to think, what do I want to do this next year? I want to get back to the sweaters for me. So the back sweater that just kind of got tossed aside. My County Redemption sweater, I'd like to get back to that and finish the dumb thing finally. I'd like to get back to the stained glass Afghan. A lot of you probably remember, if you've been watching for a long time, you probably remember, let me go back. I call it the stained glass blanket on my project page. And basically I was taking all my sock yarn leftovers and crocheting little hexagons. And I had, the last time I marked on the page, I started the blanket in 2009. Wow, way back. Go way back, pretty much the beginning of the show when I started this. The last time I put a number on how many hexagons I crocheted, I was at 143. Pretty sure I'm around 200 or 250, maybe more. I haven't counted. They're in a big bag in the craft room. So here's the thing. I'm not liking how I started to join them together. I don't like how it's looking. It's not how I'm seeing it in my head. So that blanket's getting started over. Hopefully, I found a new pattern. It's in my queue. And actually in my Ravelry library as well. It's a free pattern called Juggling Hexes. And it has you do the center of the hexagon in one color and then the edging, which you then join on to the next one, in the contrast color. So I can do the center as the sock yarn scrap and then the outer as the black, like I was planning to do, and it'll have a thicker black border than what which was more how I was seeing it. Now here's the thing with that. Basically I'm gonna have to rip out all those hexagons. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna rip out one, and I'm going to try to do the Juggling Hexes pattern with the scraps that I've already crocheted, so I'm not just getting rid of those hexagons. Because, I mean, I'm still going to have to redo everything, all my crocheting on that blanket, but I won't lose those memories of those socks that I knit in the past, and they will go into the blanket and then keep getting added to it. So that's kind of the plan. Obviously, keep knitting socks, keep knitting shawls as they come up. One that just popped into my radar that kind of looks pretty cool, but I'm kind of waiting to see. I'm not sure if I want to do another big shawl, is the Find Your Fade shawl. Let me pull that up on here so I can tell you a little more about it. I just added it to my queue today. I'd been seeing it pop up through my Instagram feed, and then the Loopy U today put up a live video of different colorways, different kits that they had put together. So if you don't follow the Loopy U over on Facebook, follow them and you can go and see the offerings. And if one of them tickles your fancy, then they actually numbered them in the video. You can call them, email them, get in contact with them and say, hey, I loved kit number 9 for the Find Your Fade shawl. I want it. And they'll box it up and send it to you. Obviously you have to pay for it, but so the Find Your Fade shawl is by Andrea Mowry of the Drea Renee Knits. The pattern is $7. You knit it up on a US 4. It takes, she has 1,500 to 1,600 yards, and the way she does it is the shawl that's on the project page, she used 7 different colors for, of a fingering weight yarn knit up on the US 4, the 3.5 millimeter needle. But she put in the notes that to get creative, it's your shawl. Use only 1 color or 3 or 10. If you need help with color selections, I highly recommend diving into your stash or the shelves of your LYS and untwisting the skeins and laying them next to each other. Look for nuances that can be seen from one color to the next. If your first color has some gold, why not snag an awesome speckled skein that also has some gold and another color you love, like pink, so that after the speckled skein you can start stitching up that favorite pink skein you've been hoarding, and so on and so forth. Or you can go over to her Ravelry group, which is, let's see, the Drea Renee Knits, so DreaRenee Knits, and she has a thread called the Find Your Fade KAL, and you can talk to people there, get their opinions, post pictures of your skeins that you're going to do, and people might be able to point out if you're not sure about one to the next. They'll be able to help you. I saw a lot of this with the Color Affection shawl, which I still have a lot of sets of that, so I might go diving into my Blue Moon Fiber Arts stash to do this. I'm not sure when, but it's this huge, cushy shawl, and I love big shawls that are almost like blankets that you can wrap up in. So that's kind of on my radar. Let's see, what else? Oh, thank you to, this is what happens when I don't write out show notes. Thank you to everyone that posted in last week's episode thread about what defines a classic pattern on Ravelry. There's been a lot of talk over there. So ACP, who I believe originally asked the question, looked at, based on the average number of projects per year in the database, the top 10 patterns on Ravelry are The Hitchhiker by Martina Bem, The Babel Hat by Donna Smith, The Honey Cowl, I'm just going to run down the rest of these, Barley, Project Peace, The Gap-tastic Towel, Fish Lips, Kiss Heel, Baby Surprise Jacket, Color Affection, and The Building Block Shawl. So you've got Vera Valimaki, Stephen West, can't be without Elizabeth Zimmerman. I mean, the woman's basically the mother of all knitting. Tin Can Knits, and several other well-known designers are on that list. And I agreed with all of those. And then she made a list of the top 20 designers. And then people chimed in. Others said, well, hey, what about Kate Davies? Because she does a lot more technique. And then it was brought up, well, yeah, what about Kat Bordy? She doesn't necessarily release patterns, but techniques like her Mobius cowls, honestly, are genius. I still can't wrap my mind around them, and I have like 3 of her books, and I'm just looking at, the cast-on's insane. It's why I haven't done one yet. It's insane, but once it happens, then suddenly something clicks. And I watched a friend do it at a knitting group years ago, and she's trying to explain it to me, and I'm going, like my mind blew up. But yeah, go over to the thread from last week, so the episode 278, the sick one episode thread, and chime in or take a look and see, because some of it's techniques, like Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, the tomato heel by Kat Bordy, and yeah, it's been a really great discussion, so that's been fun. So I hope everyone had a great new year, and until next week, happy knitting.